control initialized.
Hello there, comrades and cannon fodder. It's Dvoid here. Got a 1v1 for you on Blitz map. This is a good old classic map, this one. Nearly anyone playing Red Alert will recognise this map. But it's a good one. I think it's a good one. I'm using allies because it's my allied training day. I'm using France. My opponent is using Russia. So let's speed up the initial oil phase, see how we go. We've got a dog moving quickly, very quickly. He's guarding the central oil. I've got a rifle to guard this oil derrick, and I'm sending my engineer straight to it. These guys, they are escorting him, but I should soon send them to the most contestable oil derrick. That's what I would normally do. I'd normally send them straight there, to be fair. Right, I'm capturing the first one. What's my opponent doing? He hasn't got an engineer yet. He hasn't got a barracks yet. He's just got one doggy running around, checking out what's happening. So yeah, I've got the first oil derrick. Yeah, I've got his dog, sadly. No dogs were harmed in the making of this video. And my infantry are securing the hospital. We've got another dog. I'm going to report this guy to the RSPCA. He's just on guard duty, so that's not too bad. He's got a war factory. Very strange build. There goes another dog. Now I've got a flat truck. And I've got one oil derrick and a hospital. I'm moving for the central oil derrick now. I've run into the enemy scout vehicle, but because I haven't got any rockets yet. I've just started to train them now. But flat truck's armour's that weak that rifles can defend themselves against it. All you need is the view range. Look, it's nearly lost all its health. You know, you have to keep these flat trucks away from rifles or anything because they're that flimsy, they'll just get wiped out easily. So I've got my engineer safe. I'm just bringing up my scout vehicle because I have had posts recently. I made a video and I posted it, and two flat trucks literally killed a decent little chunk of my... Well, they killed my whole starting army, basically. And I had... you know, I had a better force in the centre than they did, but he used two flak trucks and literally microed me to death. Killed my whole starting army. It was only a couple of posts ago, so I'm sure that'll be fresh for a few of my viewers. That, yeah, I got eaten alive by two flak trucks. So they're very micro-intensive, though, and a light tank will slaughter them. And I would always choose an APC over a flak truck because the APC's got better armour. It crushes infantry, it's good for gren drops later in game, and you can soon build a flak truck when you need one anyway. I've got the central oil derrick, the most contestable one. I'm using my light tank to search ahead of the engineer. I'm using the view range bonus from this just to hold the central position, and I haven't got a vehicle with me, so an enemy engaging me would have an advantage. But I'm evening some of that advantage out by having the view range bonus, so an enemy engaging me would have to go around and attack from an angle, not going through the oil derrick's view range, attack from behind or something. But my tank can soon make it back. There's the enemy engineer, he's finally built one, and mine is heading for the same oil derrick he's capturing now. But I've caught him, look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 shots from a light tank. Yeah, blew summits off him. Probably dropped his hard hat. But there we go, I'm retaking this one. And my opponent's placed Tesla coil here. He's got a V2. He's got a tech centre. Right. So we're up against a ultra tech build. But he's got plenty of ore trucks though. Can't knock him for that, look. But he's got no tanks, so... It's not a viable build against anyone who's competent with allies. Would have scouted all this by now. The light tank would have been on laps around here and seen what's going on. And look, I'm checking it out with my infantry, look. So even I'm checking it out. See what I can see. I knew he got zapped there by a Tesla coil, and now I've seen all this. Excuse me. Now I've seen all that he's gone for some mega tech build. So fairly confident, and I'm expanding. I'm going for some tech myself. Look, I've got radar dome. I think it's essential for allies to get tech as soon as possible. Although I would recommend having a second war factory before you have a radar dome, but you know, don't stick to that rule as a hard and fast rule that you have to obey. I don't know. It's just, when I do have tech, I like to be able to produce the tech vehicles more quickly than just one war factory. Plus, if you build a radar dome and the enemy knocks out your war factory, you know, you've lost a lot of capability that you've paid for. But I'm escorting an expansion here, and I've got an expansion up here, although I haven't built my refinery yet. I've got a helicopter and radar dome and power. I've got a small force up there, very small force here. We need to check. My opponent's got an iron curtain, and we're at 18 grand to me, 10 grand to my enemy in army value. Now I'll see what all players can see, but we've got Tesla tanks, Tesla troopers here, and a V2. And I'm neglecting my men. Ah, there we go. That wasn't too bad. At least I escaped that hit. It was something. But I've got artillery at the front lines here, using the view range of neutral structures as I advance. Tech structures, now I've captured that. I can use the view range as I advance in the field. But I've got a problem here. I should have used this helicopter, brought it forward. It's a waste of a veteran light tank, and he's done well for me as well, and I shouldn't have let him go like that. A couple of spies. And I've got rangers, and these are a quick, simple way of getting a spy across the map to infiltrate the enemy. So there's one spy in, I think there's one spy in there, and then there's another spy in this one. But my enemy has used the Iron Curtain, and they've overrun this force here. So I'm at 20 to 16, and look, they've just overrun that entire force. Now we're at 17 to 16. My helicopter, MCV, and a few infantry are running away. So that's very bad. But I've got this here, and then there's another one. So I'm assuming there's some sort of infiltration on. Here we go. The enemy's got more cash than me. So we've got one spy, James Bond. He's got some cash. Double infiltration, so that's taken them down in cash. And I've got a defence on here. Saved plenty of ore trucks. It's just that I've lost radar and airfield. I've lost my helipad and I've lost my radar. But I stole a load of cash, that's useful. And I'm disrupting this, look. This expansion, they need to get back. Look how the Teslas are lethal. Lost a helicopter, and I can't replace it now, so I should have been more careful. That helicopter, like I say, it can't be replaced now, so I should have saved it. Even though I can't reload it, it doesn't matter. I should use it for spotting, because they've got a really good view range. But the enemy's not attacking here. I've got helicopter and artillery, so I reckon I can stop that force. They're fake structures that he's running into. Helicopter. Oh, he took some fire, he's backing away. As if that V2 escaped. That's impressive. Now he hasn't. But yeah, he's got very little choice but to stand and fight in this situation, I think. He should have saved his Tesla tanks, though. But Tesla troopers... Oh, he's activated the Iron Curtain. Very nice. That's it, look, saving my artillery, trying to get them out of there. And move on as well, so I'm not wasting shots on them. Target him at least. Yeah, he got my artillery. Very nicely done. But he's not pushing his advantage here. He should have overrun me on the other side. It's just, these are micro-intensive, keeping them away from my army, keeping them from being overrun or picked off by aircraft. They're micro-intensive, you have to watch them. So this is why he's not active on multiple fronts. That artillery is enabling me to stay in the game and inflict losses at an effective rate, because these Tesla troopers are just wiping me out. Those instant hits, they never miss. Look, he's just blasted my artillery. Lost my helicopter. So this is not good. That's why I'm falling back. Because to fight under these conditions, I'm at too much of a disadvantage. So that's why as soon as I lost that helicopter and artillery, get out of there. Don't bang my head against a brick wall that's going to electrocute me while I'm doing it. So there you go. That's what you need to do. And I've had to sell... I think I sold a barracks. It may have been a refinery, I doubt it, but I'm in a bad way. I've got some cash, but I'm in a bad way as in my assets, because losing those, we've got equal army value. He's destroying my central oil derrick. So yeah, we're about equal. I've got 15 to 13.8. So we are close in army value. But let me see. Let's check our economy and their income. My income's slightly better. Yeah, my opponent's struggling for cash. He's obviously got an expensive production queue. You see how vulnerable I am down here. But I'm replacing those refineries, getting ore trucks moved up. I've got 8 to 6 now. But he's having to focus his army in one place so I can overrun him. But look, he's Iron Curtain, that Tesla coil. It's a good idea. That is. Look, I'm still wasting my time, but no, don't. I shouldn't do that. Just target everything else. Ignore the Tesla coil if it wants to do that. Bringing up an MCV, look. Although I chickened out. There, now it's no longer invulnerable. So I can overrun this expansion, which was important to him, because this is his only lifeline after that. And you see, I'm already moving forces to hit him on the other side. Look, I already got forces on the move. But look at this. I'm running into a electrified killing zone. Look, just a massacre. Absolute massacre. Oh dear, I could have done with killing that one. See how many of my units he just fried? That was brutal. I didn't think that would happen, but that's what you get for attacking under like those unfavourable circumstances. And now this can't even run away because these will be even more damaging, so it's just going to get annihilated. There, I packed it up, but that was that. And he destroyed the husk, so there's no repairs, although I didn't even think of that anyway. But now, my force that was gathering here, I'm having to respond and regroup here because I think he's going to carry on an attack. Now, he's not, because it's a small attack force, but it changed my plans. And what changed my plans was me running headlong into a killing zone. You know, I need the artillery and helicopters. At least one. And I don't think a helicopter would help me win the fight. Against them, I'd need a good amount because Tesla tanks and flak trucks go together. Tesla tanks and Tesla troops kill anything, and the flak trucks defend them against air units. It's a classic old-fashioned like tactic that's very hard to stop. You have to be competent and a skilled player, and usually you have to stop them gathering numbers of Tesla tanks and flak trucks to stop it. But, you know, you've got to be a good player to do all that and maintain pressure and be able to hit them back. Now, you see, I'm grouping all this here. He's starting to operate elsewhere. You see, that's put me on the back foot. I've got spies now. Again, because obviously I've had an infiltration earlier. But taking hits. Spy moving into... There's rangers, look. Rangers are easy and quick to produce, and they can run, like I say, look at this, he's going straight up here looking for a target. Now I've lost an ore truck. I wonder what it is I decide to do with this one. Yeah, I've got cash. My opponent's got a little bit, but we could always do with taking some more. There's £1,000 off him. And that's irritating my opponent. Don't forget, he's hearing money stolen. You know, every time I infiltrate, money stolen. So that's an irritation for him and splits his attention. You know, I could even do a few fake runs with my ranger, just pretend to drop 1 or 2 off, or do it a couple of times. But you see, it's provoking a probing attack. You see helicopters, and they're a good answer for them. Nice artillery strikes. I'm having to leave something up here, because look, he's ready to pounce. Fake buildings. There's another one there. Well, I've got a decent sized force here. And it looks like the enemy's idle here. It's drawn his attention because he's used his Iron Curtain again. Very nice. Now he's doing crushes because crushes are very good with the Iron Curtain. That's why I've scattered. But he wants to be targeting the artillery, which he has done. That's very good. Now I'm going to have to use weight of numbers and rush him, look, with my helicopter view range and this force here, because I can't stand off anymore and fire with my artillery. I have to either fall back or rush him, so I decided, nah, look, rush the guy, try and force an outcome. And it looks like I've broken through there. Now he's got this force, but it looks like he's called it back. Nah, I've got enough to stop that. I think that's enough. But I haven't got build radius. Don't forget, he killed my MCV over here. So I don't have build radius there, but, you know, I've got a strong force. Here's helicopters, and they're fighting flak trucks. Now, these missiles don't fire rapidly enough. For flak trucks, you want Black Hawks, because these things, Black Hawks, are fast, rapid fire, and their light armour means it will cut straight through a flak truck. But the expensive longbows fire the missiles slowly. So a flak truck, you know, you're using something extremely expensive that it's just not suited for when you fight flak trucks with longbows. You want Black Hawks for them, and the longbows are for taking out ore trucks and heavy tanks. But that artillery is absolutely essential for knocking out this expensive infantry of his. Well, I've got a steady stream of choppers. They're providing basic view range. That's about it. And his economy's hard up at the moment. We don't want no friendly... Oh, look, I've lost a helicopter. Excuse me. But now we're pushing through. This is the sort of time I like to think of making spies again, or thieves or whatever, because look, I've got the enemy where I want them, and there's a refinery vulnerable, but now he's used this Iron Curtain again, this irritating Iron Curtain, and that's kept him in it. Now look, I've got 3 artillery pieces there. He'll probably run them all down. Now all 3 are alive, but the flak trucks, so carve them apart. And then we've got a longbow against flak trucks again. Very ineffective. But they are good against armour. I mean, they're good against flak trucks. It's just the way they fire so slowly is just... You're better off with a Black Hawk. It's a cheaper unit and it'll cut through flak trucks nicely. Shift command attacks on flak trucks with a Black Hawk. 1 will cut through, 2, 3, no problem. Look, see, lost a longbow before it could even fire. See what the enemy's doing over here? He has to keep bringing his reinforcements over. Closing on the Iron Curtain. Let's get this thing finished off. Just get rid. He sold it. There's a spy. We're both hard up for cash. You see, all those units I've been sending in have just been getting electrocuted. Fried. It's really difficult. There, we've got another spy, look. There he goes. There's half the enemy's cash. But now, this is a bad situation. He just caught that spy. Nice shot. And that spy turned back and then went. So I think, yeah, he'd have made it if he hadn't done that. Excuse me, it was obviously my fault, but, you know, he'd have made it. I actually nearly got rid of the construction yard without realising. There's an invisible transport. Phase transports, very, very effective unit. What you should do is put Tanya in there, send it round here, and knock out 1, 2, get back. Drop Tanya off and then scout again. As long as you don't go within like 5 squares of the base defences, you won't be spotted. And it's an excellent spotting unit because it's invisible. So this is what I try using it for with the artillery. Use the use the phase transport as an invisible spotter, and the enemy won't know that I've got view range on them if I use a phase transport. So that's what I'm thinking now. And going within, excuse me, going within the view range of that Tesla coil, just fried it, sadly. It looked like as soon as it came within weapons range. Maybe that's, I thought it was about 5 squares. I could be wrong, but I'll test that out. But base defences do detect you. And I think SAM sites, base defences, you know, pillboxes, all of them, all defensive structures should spot you. As far as I know. But now I'm really bad for cash. My opponent is, and at this point I can't believe the amount of units I've thrown away and wasted. But I've got a small mixed force here, artillery. I've sent a couple of helicopters, and the enemy haven't been able to push here. That's the crucial thing. They've had to keep drawing resources away and units away from there in order to fight me. But here I've got 2 longbows and I'm gonna go on an eco raid, wipe out any ore trucks I can. Now this, I think, is the tipping point for my opponent, where it's like it's too much. He can't be doing with it or whatever. I've got 2 engineers capturing. Now the enemy, you see, they're coming back. I don't know why they'd do that. But the engineer, look, he's got spy, he's got that trying to crush it. But these helicopters fly over there, look. And I wasted them, sadly. But I got the capture on that. And he crushed him. Crushed the other one. So now I'm thinking what's going on again. But, you know, I've got the artillery fire. So keep up the harassment, look. And I lost an MCV. Because I've got my rally point set up here for some insane reason. It's still there. So an MCV drove to its death. At this point in the game where I've got 1, you know, that's how you lose it. That's how you throw a game away. But there you go. I'm still in it for now. But let's look at the army value. My opponent's at 27 grand, I'm at 11, but I've just launched my GPS and my opponent has seen me with helicopters attacking his ore trucks, and now that's it, because the GPS goes off and he believes maybe I've got helicopters about to start harassing. He called it. The enemy surrendered, and it was maybe just couldn't go on, maybe, I don't know. But I killed 186 units and he killed 502. But the destroyed value isn't that much different. I got 106,000 I destroyed in value. He destroyed 148,000, so it's not that much. But he killed 502 because of all those Tesla zaps, lightning bolts zapping my infantry. I got 186 kills. So it just showed you the brutal onslaught that I had to stand up to. Yeah, it was very difficult, that one. And there were points where I thought, well, what really can I do? And I've blown it, messed it up, because just the sheer amount of units and tech assets and things I was wasting. But there were a few good points that you know, were well done. Like, as soon as I lost a helicopter and artillery, I moved back and retreated with that army at that point a while back. That sort of thing, that's good to see. That's learning. You know, I did go for the push towards the end, but it's, you know, it shows that my decision making at least is getting more competent. You know, I knew when to get out of there and when to push it, you know, so I did okay. I'm quite happy with that. And the fact that my opponent gave up before I did, I was happy with it, because it was what won the game was hanging in there. And you know, late game practice is rarer than standard basics practice. You get a lot of games are over within 20 minutes. So this one was good practice for me working on allies. So I'll just go through the graphs and charts, and that is the army graph. Luckily we're on snow, so we can see. But there's my opponent, just slightly behind me, then peaks above, slightly below, even slightly below. You see I've peaked there, but his army value increases way above mine towards the last 5 minutes. You know, he just didn't take advantage of it. And there's the earnings graph. My earnings were mostly above, but there you go at the end there as well, my opponent. And I bet it was down to some of the funds that I thieved keeping me in it. There's my finishing army. Not very convincing. 7 tanks, a couple of spies ready to infiltrate, so that could represent a nice bit of cash. Here's the combat chart that I've mentioned. You know, 148, 106 in value destroyed, but 502 to 186, that's not great. My opponent killed 10 buildings, I killed 35. Let's go. Support powers, no, none left, because I destroyed all my opponents and I never developed any. Production, I've got an anti-aircraft gun ready, a spy on the build, and tanks, that's good. Economy tab, let's see. My opponent earned 176 and I earned 195. I'm wondering if what I stole has factored into that at all. You know, what I've spent will be, it probably will be factored in wherever it comes from if you spend it, but earned, I'm not sure how it factors in stolen credits. But there's the basics tab. My actions per minute, still 30 to 35, that's what I'm usually at, a sedate, relaxed 30 to 35 actions per minute, whereas my opponents are always command a second bunch, but you know, that's what most players are at for some reason. But there's all the basic graphs and charts, and the end of that game. It was a bit of a manic one and a bit difficult for me because, you know, I'm not used to allies, but it was good practice because it was a long, more drawn out game than usual and a lot of tech involved, so it was excellent practice. But I hope you all enjoyed the madness that was this game. And until next time, viewers, thank you very much for watching, and take care for now.
Battle control terminated.